Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Now come on in. Now come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right?
Come on in. And I'm back. I'm back, girl. That's right. Okay. We're here for Married to Medicine, episodes 13 and 14. And please let me inform you 13 and 14 were basically the same thing. Okay. So I'm literally going to be running through it because it's the same conversation over and over again. Okay. But before we get into it, let me remind you, I already did Real Housewives of Atlanta. Make sure you check that out. Thank you all for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Also, BondyBlue Bites. Yes, follow my secondary channel. BondyBlue Bites. BondyBlue Bites. Okay, double entendre on that ass. Like the video, subscribe, share, because sharing is caring. Okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and get into Married to Medicine because I have a movie and some crawfish downstairs that's waiting on me. Okay. I am on my third shot of tequila and I just want to get it in and get it out. Okay. So Toya and Eugene discuss Dr. Gregory. Okay. So because Dr. Eugene, I believe, is at heart a just and good person, he does not like to be groupthink. He is being the voice of devil's advocate when it comes to this situation with Dr. Gregory. He may not necessarily agree with Dr. Gregory, but he doesn't want Dr. Gregory to be ostracized. He doesn't want Dr. Gregory to feel like the group is not trying to hear him out or are just completely disregarding him in this whole ordeal. However, it is made very plain to me that Dr. Eugene finds Gregory's behavior funny. The song, it's funny. The man didn't touch you, but you want to file charges. Eugene said, I don't call the popo ho. That's not what I do, especially if it can be avoided. I think most adults should handle things on their own if they can. I do. But when it comes to women and men and domestic violence, no, please call the police. Absolutely. But in situations where two people get into an altercation and it ends up in one maybe getting their ass beat, maybe not, and they call the police. So I just want to clock. I just want to clock. I just want to clock. I know everybody remembers the conversation about Candace and Monique, correct? Do you all remember? Do you all remember? When I told y'all, I just felt like you just don't call the police just because you got into a fight, especially if you were also a part of the intro to the fight, meaning yap, 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 walk up, yap, 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 fight. Now one person got their ass beat or they felt scared, Dr. Gregory, and now you want to call the police because you're upset about how it all turned out. Because it was supposed to turn out differently than it was. You were supposed to be able to do all of those things and not feel intimidated in one way or another. I just want to remind everybody, because I know y'all disagreed with me heavily when it was Candace and Monique. But I feel, to me, it's the same logic. Don't come to somebody with some bullshit with your chest all big like you bout it. And when you really not bout it, instead of taking your L and going on about your way, you want to act as if you really are in fear. And so you want to call the police, but it's really vengeance. It's not you actually being scared. It's you feeling like you have to get the one up on the other person no matter what, because your ego is bruised. I'm sorry. It's how I felt back then. It's how I feel today. And I think the only reason people feel differently back then is because they had bigger dogs in the fight. Y'all cared more about Candace, like Monique, whatever the situation is. But I felt the same way even then. You don't engage in altercation with somebody as if you have no fear. And then when the fight breaks out, you call the police as if somebody is like, gonna kill you. And it's not even like that. You know what I mean? It's not even all of that. But listen, I agree. And I also feel like, if we wanted to zero in a little bit more, I do feel like Candace is not as much of a despicable bitch ass person as Greg. Not at all. But I do feel the emotion is the same. I can say and do whatever I want to do, no matter how it makes another person feel. I can antagonize them. I could tell them to beat my ass if that's what they want to do. And then when it all happens, I'm going to call the police and play victim and act as if I had no part in how my ass got beat. That's just me. Either way, let's get back into it. I don't want to waste any time, but I just wanted to point that out to everybody. Okay? Toya wants to throw she and Eugene a Victorian era themed anniversary party. Okay? Bridgerton, if you will. Georgetown. Okay? Married to Medicine, Georgetown. All right? That's real cute, Toya. We love a good party. We love people that spend money on parties. Okay? Show me all the goodies. Show me the outfits. Give me the dance moves. I like it all. Okay? And as a person, if I had a friend group that did shit like that, I would be so down. Oh my God. Do I need to get on a reality show just so I can get a friend group that force us to do shit? Like, girl, Lord, we work too much in real life. Lord, anyway, they have a rehearsal for the dance. It's a cute thing, okay? Quad and heavily discuss the situation as well. We see how far to the left it can be by putting them together. Quad is not trying to put King in a compromising position. The group is divided. Maybe Laticia and Greg need to stay home for a while. That's how most of us are feeling this episode. By the time we get to episode 14, it's going to be a different story for some people. Okay? So, Toya invites the women and the men to a dance class, and so that she can present them with the Georgetown Chronicle, inviting them and giving them instruction on what's to happen at the Georgetown / Bridgerton anniversary party. Okay? Contessa brings up that Phaedra's not there, but no one was talking about Phadra. Nobody cared. I think everybody, I don't know why we have to do this thing on a reality show where we pretend as if the reason for something is different than the reality show, because it's like breaking the fourth wall. Like, give it a fucking break already. We know the reason why she's not coming back. Phaedra's a mean girl. Y'all are mean girls. She has a better situation on Housewives, so that's where she's going to go. For us to have a conversation about Phadra in both of these episodes, just so the women on this show can say, oh, it's Phaedra's fault. We really didn't do anything wrong. It's whack. It's whack. It really is whack. Because the truth of the matter is, you were using her as somebody that just came on the show, just as she was using y'all as a placeholder for Housewives. Y'all were using her to create drama because half of y'all cast has no real drama. So you were using Phaedra and Apollo for that fact. And you got that up out of her. But this need to try to make it seem as if she was wrong because she peeped game ahead of time and came prepared. Yeah, nah, I'm sorry. I'm not in agreement with that whole thing that y'all have going on. Okay. Let's press, because they're gonna keep having that conversation. So then we get into the fact that Greg wants to have some sort of restraining order, even though he was not touched. He wants to have some type of situation happen so that King can be held responsible for the attempted assault. Simone said, this is a bitch move, and I don't like it. We agree, Simone. We agree. Toya asks if Greg is doing this because he's mad at Quad. Dr. Damon says that he didn't see Greg getting attacked, but if you say something about a man's woman, he has to defend himself and her. Heavenly says if you say something about me, that's not going to work. But she said something about Scott and Contessa. But I feel like that's different. I also feel like it's not even about what you say about somebody. It's about the intent. It's about the emotion behind it. And to be very clear, The issue that I have with Dr. Gregory is Dr. Gregory is there to hurt Quad. He is there because he is still angry with Quad, because he still wants a response out of Quad, because he still wants to control Quad in some way, which is why there's conversation about how much she drink and how much she talk and what she should be saying. The truth of the matter is, whether she meant it sarcastically or not, her saying that she's happy you've moved on and Laticia is the perfect wife for you, that should not have caused you to feel as if she was saying something so bad that you needed to tell her that she talked too much and she need to shut the fuck up. You then became disrespectful. Yeah. You then became disrespectful. You took it up to this level. You were upset because Quad pointed out that she left you. That's what it is, homie. I get it, y'all. I get it. Nobody likes getting, rejected more than I. Okay? Like, I understand, girl. But at the same time, you don't act out of character like somebody that can't take rejection because you got rejected. You swallow it, you accept it, maybe you learn from it, and then you move forward. But you don't act like a lying, insecure imbecile because you don't like the fact that she left you. She did. Deal with it. Get over it. You not being able to accept that fact is the reason why you causing issues between you and your current wife. And your current wife should be paying attention to this shit and feeling a way about it. She is feeling a way about it. But what is more important to her is to defend you, even though you're wrong, even though you're abusing her in the process of all of this. They dance. The men are there to fuck the women later. Like, okay, fine. Whatever your motivations are, sir, you're married, okay? If you do everything you do for your wife just so you can, lay her down later, as long as you don't act like a psycho, if you don't get it, I don't care, okay? Because ain't nothing worse than a nigga that's popping off, getting mad at you, wanting to be all abusive and violent because he ain't getting coochie for the second night in a row. Like, get out of my face, weird ass nigga. Go jack off in the shower, okay? Like, take that somewhere else. Toya meets with Laticia. Hold up. No. Yeah. We moving on. Toya meets with Laticia and Mimi. And they bring up that they want to invite her to the party, but they don't want to have to feel like they need to choose between her and her husband. And this is what's going on, right? Toya is trying to have a conversation with another wife where if you are like me, this is Toya. If you're like me, you have some type of control over your husband. Not in a bad way, but in a way that if you really want to get what you need from him, there are ways, okay? You're either going to be extra nice, you're going to give him extra coochie, sloppy toppy, make his favorite meal, whatever it is. You're going to pour sugar on shit so that you can get your way with this man, because that's usually the only way that you can appeal to a man that has decided that he doesn't want to, acquiesce, okay? What Toya doesn't understand is that Laticia is not in a partnership with a man where he has some things he can, use to get his way with her when she doesn't want, and, vice versa. You and Eugene have that type of situation. There are moments where Eugene acquiesces because he wants to give Toya what she wants. And if it's going to put some sugar on it for him, all the greater. Okay. But there are times where he doesn't agree with her and he puts his foot down and he says, no, I'm not okay with that. And you need to let it go. And then Toya is going to dictate whether I can work with this or I can't. She's going to pick her battles, right? With this situation with Dr. Gregory and Laticia, what we understand is this is not a marriage on equal footing, meaning she doesn't have any power to go to him and try to appeal to him in a way where she can get her way. And to me, I do feel like on some level that's a problem. I feel like a man should be able to figure out a way, especially if it's not something that causes his wife harm or humiliation. Like, you shouldn't have an issue with being around Quad because you didn't have a problem with being around Quad and King before. So at this point, you should be able to collect yourself, calm the fuck down, and be around that couple without a fight breaking out, to be honest, really and truly. Okay. So the fact that Toya and Mimi could not seem to get Laticia to a place where Laticia is like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna talk to him. Don't worry about it. I'll handle it, girl. I'll talk to him. We'll get it together. Yeah, because she don't have that type of relationship with him. Also, they also were having a conversation with Laticia about how Laticia can't control her own shit, meaning that you were losing your mind. And I'm sure they edited a lot out, so the viewership is not very clear on how much Laticia is losing her shit. But when Laticia had that moment of falling out and all of that, and Mimi and Contessa and Phadra were holding her and speaking tongues or whatever bullshit was happening, in that moment, that's the moment you realize that Laticia is out of control of herself. Because, girl, what the fuck is going on? Gregory was more in control of himself when the fight broke out with him and King than Laticia was. Laticia was over there loosing the knees, crying, and doing all of this extra shit. Child, Gregory knew exactly what he was doing. He was antagonizing King, hoping that the other men would jump in and save him if King decided he wanted to beat his ass, because he a bitch ass nigga. And if there's anybody that knows about like how bitch ass niggas work, I feel like women should know. You've seen men that know because they have an upper hand in some type of way, or because they have some type of backing, they got way more mouth than they would if they did not have that backing. They can't stand on their own 2 feet, which means they a bitch ass nigga. And Dr. Gregory is a bitch ass nigga. He can only stand on his 2 feet when it's with a woman he has some type of power over, because she love him, and because he the husband, and because she want the purse strings, even though he ain't giving her access to purse strings like that, because her reunion outfit showed us she couldn't even pay for a whole dress. So it ain't happening the way she think it's supposed to be happening. But to me, I feel like we watched Sweet Tea try to talk Gregory down. We watched her tell him it wasn't that deep. That man was not about to beat you to a pulp. It wasn't on that level. Like, nobody was roided up and angry to the point that they could not be calmed down, because they were all still on that sandbar together. And if King had decided that he wanted to fight you regardless of what any of those men had to say, it would have been way more upheaval. It wouldn't have been Quad comes over and then y'all just go take a walk and it's fine. It would have been him trying to get at you. Not even like, Quad would not have been able to talk to him. He would have been trying to get to you no matter what, if he was really trying to hurt you. So I feel like Laticia already tried to talk to him, but Laticia can't tell these women that she don't have no power in her relationship, because that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. At the end of the day, most women who still have some type of power in their relationship know that I'm pretending that this man has more power than he really does. Because once we get in this motherfucking bedroom, once we get behind closed doors, I know how to get what I want out of him. Most of the time, and this is just speaking as a wife, you like, it's never really that serious. There's nothing I want that badly that I can't get. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't never that deep. Like, I don't know what type of relationships everybody is in, but I never have to stretch myself that hard in order to get what I want, and vice versa. Vice versa. It shouldn't even be all of that. You should be able to talk to him. You should be able to have some type of influence on him, and vice versa. So to me, when I look at this situation, I don't even see a man that has real reverence for his wife. And I see a woman that's too scared to be honest about her positioning in her relationship. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Yes. At the end of the day, if nothing else, if you have been a good woman to a man, there are 2 things that will make a man acquiesce to you. The knowledge that you are a good woman to him, above and above. Like, there are times you have like sacrificed. There are times you have made a way. There are times you have done something that man was so impressed with that it makes it hard for him not to give you your way. That's one thing. The other thing is sex. So if you don't have either one of those tools to be used in your relationship, I'm sorry. I think you need to go back to the drawing board and have some deeper conversations. I don't know what's going on. Okay? But she can't talk to that nigga, and she wish she could. She wish she could talk him out of this police report bullshit. Okay? Laticia says that that's her business. King took his shirt off and basically she repeats everything that Gregory said to her. She repeats it to them. But we know she don't have no power, and that's sad. And I think Toya and Mimi were frustrated because they were looking for Laticia to take some accountability. But I believe the reason why she can't take accountability for the way she acts is because he doesn't take accountability. When people actually believe in marriages where the man is leading just because he's the man and she's the woman, that's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is. The man is still leading. He's wrong. He's wrong. And if he were able to take accountability for his own inadequacies, not being able to control himself, being upset about the fact that Quad says she left him, it's the truth. You shouldn't still be upset about it. Even if it hurts you, admit it. Admit that that's a hurt to your ego, but it's the truth. It is what it is. She got somebody else. I got somebody else. It was for the best. That's the mentality you should be presenting as a man that's supposed to be over her. But it's obvious that you're not. It's obvious that you're not. So you're handling it in a way that is emotionally and mentally immature. And you're supposed to be leading this younger woman who doesn't have the balls, wherewithal, the coochie, or the ovaries to tell you what it's going to be and what it's not going to be and just stand on that. That's hard, especially with an older man. That's why a lot of us women who have sense do not promote these inadequacies in age when it comes to relationships, because it really is all about your experience. And the younger you are, sometimes the less experience you have in relationships. So you don't see the forest for the trees because you haven't had enough experience in order to understand what's happening. You haven't had enough evidence in order to know exactly what you're looking at when you hear it and see it. Because me personally, it has only been at 36, almost 37, that I'm seeing things so clearly. It's very hard for people to do to me what they did to me last year, the year before. Like, in a short amount of time, I now have an understanding that as soon as something moves a certain way, it's about to be on bullshit. She 30, 32, 34, around that age. She don't know no better. And he's relying on the fact that she don't know no better. So here she is, no power, no equity in her relationship, and a man that is leading her to develop an inability to be accountable. Because if she is accountable, it's abuse. Can I be clear when I say that? Her inability to be accountable to the women is a reflection of how in the relationship with him, he won't be accountable for his actions. And then when she asks him to be accountable, he mentally and emotionally abuses her. Her not being able to say I was fucking up is because she don't feel safe to say I was fucking up with him, because he's making shit that's not her fault her fault. So if we being real as a person, if you have a situation where you know it's not really your fault and the man is blaming you, even if you're going to take the blame to make him happy, if somebody else comes to you and tries to blame you for that shit, you're not going to take accountability to them because you know it's not really you. You know it's him, but you're too scared to say the truth to him. So you just really act the ass with your friends. You act the ass with Mimi and Toya and tell them you don't care about your friendship with them because you're not about to be held accountable for something that's not your fault. You're going to move however your husband move, even if your husband is wrong. Yeah, y'all. That's why dealing with women who are in abusive relationships is so difficult, because they literally are always responding because of the abuse that they're going through in the relationship. They're not responding how they would respond if they were just being themselves. I feel like if she wasn't tied to this man, she would have been able to come to the forefront and say, yeah, I was out of control. I was really emotional. Maybe I shouldn't have handled it like that. Because when she's by herself, you're not necessarily dealing with the same type of personality. I think the example of that is when we saw her talking to Heavenly last season, and she admitted that Kwai was right about how controlling and manipulative Gregory can be. She admitted that. But ever since all of that took place and more has happened in the relationship, I think she now is in a mindset that I can't trust the women. I have to defend the husband because we're all each other has. So I can't say I'm wrong and he's wrong to them, because then that's like leaving him out to dry and we're all we have. I can't depend on those women. At the end of the day, those women gonna choose each other and they gonna choose their men. So I gotta choose mine, even though he's putting me in this fucked up situation. And he's the one that's actually at fault here, because he shouldn't be emotionally bothered by the truth of his breakup with his ex. You shouldn't still be bothered by that. Yeah, it definitely feel like, remember how she was getting into it with her sister? I'm sure there was more happening behind the scenes as to why she has isolated herself. It's really crazy. I back off of females in abusive relationships. I let them know when she's really ready, I'm there. I agree. I agree. There's only so much you can do. You know what I'm saying? You have to save yourself. Being a good friend is just like, my door is open, but I'm not about to deal with this with you. Okay? Bitch, you ain't about to put me through this shit. Okay? Scott and Eugene sit down with Greg. He thought they would reach out to him. Eugene says he was trying to give him some time to cool down. And Eugene asks if he's pressing charges. And he says, why wouldn't I? He charged at me. It's simple battery. Eugene asked, well, did he touch you? Eugene said, well, hold up. Greg said no. But he can get jail time, he can get a fine, he can get probation. So you want to ruin this man's image because he did exactly what you wanted him to do, which was defend his woman against you, who felt like it was okay to disrespect her. You were literally telling him, I'm gonna say whatever I want to say to her, and you ain't gonna do shit about it. Like that's basically what Dr. Gregory was doing. So he ain't about to play in my face and tell me that you weren't antagonizing that man. Okay. They say, oh, you serious? And he says the things that happened to me is serious. Again, over dramatizing because you don't want to be accountable for your own actions. You act like a bitch. Greg plays his new song, which even more showcases his bitch assness. Okay. He's just a man, but I can't stand for somebody to lie on me. I want to move on. I want to move on. I want to move on with my life. Now I got a brand new wife. Yeah, I'm standing for justice. Justice. I'm standing for justice. Yeah. Okay. Justice. You're really over exaggerating and doing a lot. I need for you to pump your fucking brakes. The real injustice is old ass niggas getting into relationships with younger women so you can manipulate their naivete. That's the real injustice, bitch. Oh, Lord. They was laughing at him. But niggas like him are dangerous. Niggas like him are dangerous. Quad has a pool party. They walk down the stairs. Yes, walk. Sashay, Shantae. They get cocktails. Quad has a rule. Listen, everybody, have a good time, get a drink, and no one talk about the past. Good luck. Toya asks if Quad is coming to her party. Why would she? Quad wants to go to Toya's party, but Greg attempting to file charges against King means that she can't go if her man can't go. My protection can't go, so I won't be there. Which means that, y'all got to just deal with that. Now, this is the bullshit, y'all. The bullshit is Toya and everybody else using this moment to lie to Quad and convince her they're going to be on her side and they're going to choose her. Now, I don't think Quad was asking anybody to choose her, but when Gregory decided he wanted to complain to the network and then also, threatened to file charges, it made it as though for the moment, the group had to choose between the two of them. I think at some point that will all get ironed out and you'll just have to either be there or not be there. But you can't really stop him from taping. At some point, I'm sure. But either way, I feel like everybody was bullshitting. Everybody was acting like they supported Quad and they're going to all turn around and flip on her. Toya and Mimi tell them how Laticia didn't take any accountability. And when they asked her if she wanted to continue in the group, she didn't give them an answer. Toya says she chooses Quad and she gets emotional. Heavenly says, I have a new respect for you, Toya. That was all bullshit. It was all love in that moment. Jackie and Curtis go to talk to Phadra. Really, Curtis goes downstairs. It was very weird. It was almost like Jackie made Curtis come to prove that they still together because she'd been filming so much without him. But either way, they continue to have this same conversation about why Phadra doesn't want to come around. And Jackie says, well, Heavenly says she told you and asked you if Apollo can come. We never get a response. They've had this conversation 2 or 3 times. So my idea is that they're editing out Phaedra's response so that they can make Phadra the bad guy. So we can find a way to blame Phadra for this. Because I believe Phaedra's response would be, I told y'all it was okay for him to come, not for him to bring his messy ass wife, side chick that has it out for me. Like, that's 2 different things. He's my baby's father. So he needs to make money so that he can support our 2 children. That bitch, I don't have no words, no time, or no platform for her. Like, that's probably what the conversation really was. More so about the wife coming than anything. But either way, we get that edited out. And Phaedra says, I just don't want to be around y'all. And Heavenly is the devil's daughter. I'm like, bitch, if Heavenly is the devil's daughter, you're the devil's concubine. Freaky, freaky, unbeknownst to the world. You think she's just a secretary, but she really a concubine ass bitch. Okay. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay. Don't do that, because you do way more fucked up shit than Heavenly has done. I don't recall Heavenly going down to the courthouse to try to fuck up nobody's business. I don't recall that. Okay? She might say some stupid shit on Twitter, but that's not the same thing as going down to the courthouse on somebody. Okay? Jackie asked if she would come to Toya's event. Fuck no. Y'all ain't gonna get no more taping out of me. Y'all want to act like I'm the bad guy? Film without me, hoes. I'm not mad about that, because I do feel like they was trying to scapegoat Phadra. Yeah, Phadra is a mean girl, her damn self, but y'all was trying to pour all of that shit in her bucket, and it could have been passed around to a few of y'all that don't have a storyline but rely on other people to make a mess out of their lives, so you don't have to, Jackie. Get the fuck out of here. Jackie was very condescending and sarcastic to me. If not, it was giving fake. But I think it's weird that we still can't get Jackie to be held accountable for some shit that she say, but you talking to us about how Phadra need to be held accountable. Girl, go to bed. So let's get into episode 14. Before we do, I want to remind y'all that I can't wait to get the fuck out this country and go to Bali with Reset by Design Wellness. I was talking to the girls today. Shout out to Talia. Okay, I love you for real. I cannot wait to go somewhere with these people again. Okay. Reset by Design Wellness is a luxury escape experience curated for you by a wonderful group of Black women. Okay. That come together to try to give you luxury, a good time, and some help when it comes to your mental and your emotional. Do you see us, child? We have a good time. We look good. We go to different places. All right. We build sisterhood. You need to follow us on Instagram and you need to go to the website. But on top of that, you need to like my video and you also need to subscribe to BondyBlue Bites. I'm going to play my like the video music before we get into the next episode. But while I'm doing that, can y'all please do me a favor and subscribe to BondyBlue Bites? And as y'all know, I lost the check. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's go. Episode 14. Jackie and Simone discuss Phadra and Apollo. Phadra bringing Shaq means she's partly to blame. Jackie said she lived on the surface with us, and maybe she wasn't here for a good reason. Then they laugh about how terribly Greg sings in that video. I want to be free. Tell it, Bubble. Okay, that's what you should have been singing. Okay, nigga, next time sing a cover. Don't write your own music. One day, child, I won't have to listen to your lies. Shoot, 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 shoot. On that day, I'll be able to make up my own mind. I think I done finally realized, yes, I have. And I think I can put you out of my mind. I wanna be free. Yes, I have. Oh, Lord. Shoop, 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 shoop. Do, 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 do. Shoop, 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 shoop. Heavenly and Contessa sit down again to calmly discuss Heavenly saying that Scott was abusive. Contessa said he was volatile, but that's not abusive. Contessa, tomato, bitch. Volatile is abuse. Somebody being volatile in your relationship, meaning that you cannot trust their responses and their reactions. Volatile meaning that they blow up. Matter of fact, let's do what I like to do often, which is look up the actual definition of words. Let's do that because I don't want to be wrong. I don't like that. Volatile, substance, easily evaporated at normal temperature. That's one definition. Liable to change rapidly and unpredictable. And unpredictably, especially for the worse of a person. Liable to display rapid changes of emotion. A passionate, volatile young man is an example. Okay. So, eruptive, when we're talking about a substance, when we're talking about a person, uneasy, uncomfortable, eruptive, explosive, charged, tense, strained. Those are the words that go along with volatile. This is the opposite of volatile. Stable, calm. Okay? Again, let's look at some more words that are synonymous with volatile. Erratic, uncertain, inconsistent, unpredictable, changeable, inconstant. And usually in a relationship, someone not being stable, someone being eruptive, explosive, strained, well, usually that is considered abuse. Nobody said that Scott was going upside your head. But what you yourself, Contessa, described was mental and emotional abuse. And so to then be upset with Heavenly for stating how she understands what you explained to her, and then, when you can't really say that those two things are mutually exclusive, you then say, oh, well, just talking about a friend online is so bad. Yes, if we were not on a reality show, and Heavenly were not reviewing said reality show to keep said reality show in the blogs current and popping so that all of you guys would continue to be able to receive monetary value off of you guys' personal business that you have already signed a contract to tell us about. Okay, you telling us you have a volatile husband, and then you turning around and saying that Heavenly is so wrong for saying that that's abuse. Yeah, girl, I'm sorry. I think we should agree to disagree because there's no way you're going to get that to make sense for everybody else. Contessa, just as that wig was bothering me in the scene, your inability to be honest about how you were describing your relationship at the time, I wish you would just take responsibility and say that I was wrong in my description. I was putting 20 on 10. Like, tell us that your assessment of your relationship was wrong, but don't come to us after you've already acted like you were scared of that fucking man for a whole season and then tell us that Heavenly is so wrong for stating the fucking obvious. Get over it. I need you to get the fuck over it. Because you're not 100% right in this situation. So it would be nice if you would really just get the fuck over it. But the issue that Contessa has is a consistent one, right? Because they have a conversation about inviting Greg and King, both respective couples, to her diabetes medical event that she has coming up. And she feels like everybody should be able to get along. Yes, that would be the case if Gregory was not a bitch ass nigga. But because we dealing with a bitch ass nigga, that can't happen. So it forces you to have to pick a side. Heavenly feels like you need to just go ahead and pick King and Quad. In this situation, I understand why Contessa wouldn't want to do that, because neither of them are actually in the medical field currently. We know Quad used to be a rep for pharmaceutical companies back in the day, but she doesn't do that anymore. Okay. And when it comes to Sweet Tea and Gregory, Gregory is a psychiatrist. Now, if you need if you need somebody that can give you a prescription for some goddamn Ativan or whatever the fuck whatever the fuck the people use that the psychiatrist can write you a prescription for, I will understand why Contessa thought it was more important to invite them to this specific event. Okay? So I wasn't 100% against Contessa inviting them, but at the same time, I don't need anybody to be mad at Quad for feeling like as soon as they get here, I'ma leave. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Toya and Eugene talk about it. And Eugene understands that Greg is feeling like the group is choosing King, but that's only because the men don't agree with Greg's tactics. And he knows that. A lot of people, and I feel like, Portia is similar from Real Housewives of Atlanta. You have different rules for yourself than you have for other people in a way that is just really unreasonable. You know what I'm saying? You expect loyalty where you give none. You respect where you give none. You know what I'm saying? You expect respect. But anyway, the overall consensus is that Laticia and Gregory need to go sit the fuck down, because they the ones that can't seem to be around King and Quad without altercation taking place. King and Quad have a date. And let me tell y'all something. I totally understand, and this is why I don't have a problem with people living separately. I know in this day and age, we still like to live in these traditional boxes that we put ourselves in, meaning that just because that's what people have always done, you think that that's what everybody should be doing. And hey, if that's what you feel like works for you, that's great. But I think people should open up their minds to other ways of cohabitating in their relationships, because I feel like there is something to be said for why are we trying to force something that doesn't need to happen? Meaning, if he doesn't want to move into her house, he shouldn't. He should keep his place. She should keep her place, and they should spend time together at either one of their places whenever they want to. You spend a week by his house, or he can spend a week by your house, but y'all don't have to move into each other's domains. I really feel like people just be wanting to be up under each other all the time, but I think it might be more healthy for y'all to have different houses, especially if y'all can afford them. I'm sorry. My broke ass could not afford that. But if I was Quad, when I tell you, I wouldn't want him to move into my house, first of all, and I would not want to move out of my house. I'm like, y'all can just not live together and be together. Y'all know that, right? And as time goes on, you just spend more time together depending on what's needed in a moment. But I think there is always going to be time where he can go back to his house and you can be in your house and vice versa. Like there's always going to be time, I think, when we're like grown adult healthy human beings, that we like time alone, or we can take some solitude and then come back together later. Like, you don't have to be with your person every day, every night. I know a lot of y'all feel like that's what proves you love somebody, but I don't agree. I'm sorry, I don't agree. I saw Quad's house and her setup, and when she said, I like my house, I said, bitch, I would not be moving out my house. I would not. I would not. And I also, because she was like, because what if you don't want to rent your shit out? Because I was thinking about that too. He was like, you can rent it out. Yeah, you can rent it out, and you can have somebody come in there and fuck your shit up. No. Also, you might be able to find another house, but if I don't like the other house the way I like my house, I'ma still want to be in my house. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like they can live together and not move in together. But of course, also their conversation about gender roles, you want me to take the trash out. Da, 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 da. I didn't like him even saying anything about that, because at the end of the day, it's not about gender roles. It's about each person doing something that makes the other person's life easy. It's not about gender roles. And I need for people to start to understand that. So for instance, Gender roles is the woman does the housework and the man takes the trash out and cuts the grass and does the outside shit. That's gender roles. When she's asking you to make the bed, wash dishes, or help her with the upkeep of her home while you're staying there with her, that's just doing your part to not put two people's trash on her. Like, that's all that is. If you're gonna be in here laid up, eating and fucking in the jacuzzi and all of that, you can absolutely put a load in the dishwasher or make sure my trash get taken out. Just as a woman, if she's over there by your house, I'm sure she comes over there and wipes off counters and cleans a bathroom or does some dishes or folds some laundry. Women are always looking to do something, that cements who they are to you when it comes to like caring for you, right? So to me, I feel like it's really more so about you do something for me to make my life easier. I do something for you to make your life easier. It's not you're a man, so you do that. You're a woman, so you do that. This nigga takes the trash out because it's literally easier for him to do it than it is for me to do it. Just like I do the dishes more than he does because I'm home more than he is. But this morning I say, oh, it's on you, right? Today, since you off, it's on you, right? Oh, okay. Like, people really make these things way more complicated than they have to be. It really shouldn't even be all of that. Gender roles ain't got nothing to do with why we should, think about this living situation. You want to keep your place because you don't want to move into my place because you don't want to just be in some woman's house and her being able to hold her home over your head. Perfectly fine. I don't want a man to do that to me. So you can have your place. I'll have my place. Depending on what's going on, I'll come to you or you can come to me. Like, people make it way more difficult than it really needs to be. So yeah, moving on. Simone and Cecil. I get so tired of Simone and Cecil with this same thing because I feel like we've been saying it for the longest. If there's nothing else I want to say about Simone and Cecil, is that you need to learn to make your children clean up after themselves, no matter whether they are boys or girls, no matter whether you are rich or poor. Your children should be responsible for cleaning up after themselves, their rooms, their bathrooms, as soon as they're around 8, 9, 10. And you should only be going in after to make sure they've done it right. Back in the day, we would have a cleaning lady come over, right? And the idea was the cleaning lady was not responsible for my bathroom and my bedroom. She cleaned everything else. And my bedroom and my bathroom was on me. And she would just come in behind me. And if things needed to be tidied up like that. But the day before she came, which was Saturday, she came on Saturday. My dad would always be like, your room better be clean before the cleaning lady gets here. Because you need to learn how to clean up after yourself. Fast forward to my teenage years, my dad would cook. My mom would be at work. He says, clean up the dishes. Your mama don't need to see no dishes in the sink when she comes home. You know why? Because he cooked and my mama was at work. I'm the only one that didn't did shit. So I should come in and clean up to do my part in our household. You see what I'm saying? Like, I was taught that you do it because this is what the household needs, not because that's your role as a girl or as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Simone and Cecil dropped the ball with this because they felt like because they had money their parents didn't have, and also because I think they were spoiled on some level they damn self, they did not impart on their boy children the responsibility of taking after themselves that they should have because they thought we have money. Why should our kids have to do certain things? Because they need to learn how to clean up after themselves because you don't know what's going to happen in an economy. And what I've learned from reading books is that most people stay within their same tax bracket or they go higher or lower, but nobody ever goes, like, for the most part, generally Americans will stay in the exact same tax bracket as their parents, right? So if you know y'all got a little bit of money, but you may not always have the most money, understand that you need to be preparing your child for if they can't afford to live as comfortably as you did. Like, you need to be preparing them to clean up after themselves because they may not be able to afford a cleaning lady at 20. You couldn't. You know what I'm saying? They coddled the fuck out of them kids. Them boys should have been cleaning up after themselves from the ages of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, they should already have had a regimen for how they were supposed to be taking care of their own things. So by the time these niggas is 19, 20, 21, you not having to go and bargain with them about the upkeep of a condo that you're letting them live in for free as you pay for it. $2,000 a month, y'all. That's more than my fucking mortgage. They paying $2,000 a month for them dirty, trifling niggas to live in a place that they could be renting out that could actually be making them money. This is the reason why sometimes people kick their kids out when they become a certain age, because it starts to seem like you're really just trying to get over on your parents. You're really playing on a top. And I find that shit mad disrespectful. You're dirty, you're trifling, you don't pay for nothing, and you can't even keep the shit up as your parents are asking you to do, even though you're not paying for anything. They take shit from you, you don't care. They come over there and they ask you to pay them because they cleaned it up, you still don't do the shit. Now Simone is saying, I want a receipt of y'all's paychecks because y'all are going to start paying this mortgage now. To me, the way they laughed at her when she was telling them that shit made me feel like they know that at some point, all they're going to have to do is call her and complain, or call Cecil and complain, and whatever she's talking about right now is going to be out of the window. That's what it feels like to me. They don't believe that y'all are going to ever let them fend for themselves. But that's, to me, specifically the reason why a lot of parents will kick their kids out, because you're not about to play and just use me so that you don't have to grow up. Like that's really what it be seeming like sometimes. You just want to use me so you don't have to grow up. That's not cool, bruh. That's not cool at all. I don't like that shit. And I low-key be wanting to blame Cecil because you the daddy and you the man and you the one that they refer to. So you really should be the one. If I was Simone, I would have been like, I'm not paying for shit. They can't live here no more. Matter of fact, if you don't get them out of this apartment complex and help them find somewhere else to stay, and I don't have nothing to do with it, I'm gonna call the police and have them escorted out. Like it would have been another level for me. I'm not about to deal with that. Because at the end of the day, y'all stressing me the fuck out because these niggas don't want to do what they supposed to do. And you like making it easier for them not to do what they supposed to do. So I'm just not paying for shit no more. I'm not paying for nothing. I'm not cleaning up nothing. Cecil, you can handle this. Matter of fact, and if you let them stay in this house, we can transfer this house into your name exclusively so it don't have nothing to do with my credit. Like, I would have completely cut all of that shit off. Because I don't like how they was just laughing. Like it wasn't a serious thing for them to be taking, their parents' kindness and the comfortability that's been afforded them. They take it for granted. Take care of your shit, man. Oh my God. I don't like that shit. Anyway, so Contessa has her diabetes event. It's heavily affected her family. It gives people access. The whole event was giving people access to doctors, information, people that can help them pay bills, like just all kind of stuff. It's a really, really good event. Contessa then talks to Quad about how they don't need to exclude Gregory and Laticia. And Heavenly says, well, he got a charge in place. It's very, difficult for you to act like King and Quad are supposed to just let the shit rock as if this man is not trying to take legal action against them. It would be different if that wasn't the case. But if King shows up and there was something legal put in place that he could complain and say, oh, this man is, but we know that there was nothing legal in place. So I am actually wondering why it was that the network decided to put King on some type of temporary timeout. I have questions about that. The men discuss Greg, doing too much and King just being a stand-up guy. And he, they feel like Gregory bit off more than he could chew. Like, you thought you was going to be able to chest up to this man. You thought that you could take being around Quad now that she's moved on to be with someone else, but you really couldn't. That's what I think most of the men are understanding. Contessa and Heavenly was going back and forth. They edited the scene very heavily, but I low-key was on, I was on Heavenly's side with this. Because this is the shit I be talking about with Contessa. And this is why I feel like, low-key, you can't really trust Contessa all the time because Contessa likes to play victim, but you will put these people in a volatile situation under the guise that, oh, it should just be fine. They're letting you know that it's not fine. You was the first person to come to the group and tell them that Greg was still hot as fish grease about the situation. Now we know from you that he's trying to file court papers and all of that. And you're still trying to convince Quad that she should come around. Now, Toya, you ain't shit neither, because I see this what y'all did next episode. It's why I said everybody shits on Quad and then they act like they don't. They all told Quad they were going to have her back and be on her side and choose her. And then when she shows up to the events, they tell her, I was just playing. Sweet Tea and Gregory coming, just so you know. Okay. So to me, I feel like Toya and Contessa have both done the same thing. And it low-key reminds me of habitually in this friend group, the way they will, I don't know, I feel like they just don't treat Quad equally all the time. They don't. I feel like they play in Quad's face a lot. They want all of this loyalty and reverence from her, but they don't really give it back to her. Like, I know Quad is extra and all of that shit, but if you really go back and watch this show throughout the seasons, they never have really treated Quad fairly. They've always looked for a reason to look down on her or not take her seriously, which is why, even though she may be overly emotional, her emotions are valid. Her emotions about them not trusting them is valid. They repeatedly told her they had her back and then did something different. You know what I'm saying? As time has gone on. And I think they did that with Dr. Gregory when a divorce happened. And when y'all go back and watch that season, when Jackie and Curtis were going through it, Cecil and Simone were going through it, and Quad and Gregory were going through it all at the same time. I feel like I saw Quad extending herself and being emotionally available and supporting all of those women. And when the shoe was on the other foot and she was going through her divorce, they were not there for her. They picked that nigga side. They made it seem as if her, her saying that he was abusing her, they couldn't trust her word. And then even when he got up there and admitted to doing some of the things that she said happened, not disputing the shit that she said happened, they still found a way to try to like make it seem as if she was lying or putting 20 on 10. Like, and then we get here. Y'all just told that girl in episode 13 that y'all were gonna have her back and had her all emotional and crying, and Jackie like, I'm emotional too. And now this episode, you done invited them people and you waited until she was already there to tell her. And then Toya told her she was picking her. But then when it come to the actual event, we see Laticia coming there with that little bitty bun on top her head with Dr. Gregory. And we see Quad there with no king. And I feel like that's exactly what he wanted to happen. So when we talk about narcissistic abuse and how men will use their friends and families in order to like abuse a woman by proxy, this is what the fuck I be talking about. It happens all the time and people just act like they should just stay out of it. It's not our business. But a lot of the times you are being used as a tool to abuse the woman because you feel like you want to stay out of it. Because look at this situation, y'all. Basically, Greg has acted a fool. Greg has pushed everybody into a corner with going, saying he wants to go to the police and going to the network and asking for King to not be there and to not record, right? And so then you put Quad at a disadvantage. So now you can be there with your wife. Both of y'all are out of control of y'all selves. But now Quad has to be there by herself because he's made it a big deal. And now her man can't be there as her support system. That's fucked up. I think that's fucked up. Okay. No. Heavenly did not say physical. Don't say that. No. Heavenly literally said, do I think he's abusive? Verbally or emotionally, mentally? She never said physically. She actually said not physically. I believe if you was on that live, because I remember being on that live, and she basically just said emotionally and mentally. And I think that when people play games with their partners, when they do shit like we saw Scott did, one thing I can say why I absolutely believe that Scott is emotionally abusive was turning their children like against her in some respect, right? You are expressing your negative emotions about your wife to your children on camera. They're children. And you're expressing your discontent with your wife in front of them and to them, talking to them. You are really putting more on their plate as children then you should be. A lot of parents do that though. They don't real because it's the natural thing to do low key. Your children do be your friends. Your children do care about you. Your children are emotionally affected by how you're emotionally affected, right? So I always felt like that was a sign of abuse to me because if you're really going to be grown and really going to be an adult, you do not drag your children into the issues you have with your partner, especially when you're the parent that's there and the partner is gone. So then, she comes home and there are all these cross wires, and now they're mad at mommy and why mommy isn't around. And really, their emotions have been infused by their father's emotions. If their father was to be more in control and say it's okay and mommy has to do what she has to do, and I know I miss mommy too, but it's okay. Like if he were to be more supportive of her, then it would have helped their children deal with it. But because he was upset about it, it made it harder for their children to be okay. Like, there were a lot of things that we saw between Scott and Contessa that could make us feel like the relationship was mentally and emotionally abusive because you play mind games and you play with somebody's feelings. You're vengeful, you're passive aggressive, you're outright trying to harm your partner because you're upset about something that they've done or something that they've said. And so you're actively being vengeful. A lot of people don't like to admit that shit, but that's exactly what the fuck they be doing. I can't believe how many times I've had conversations with people and they're like, well, that's not why I was doing it. Yeah, it is why you was doing it. That is exactly why you was doing it. But it sounds worse when I say that you're actively trying to hurt me versus you're just responding. Like, no. Friends don't diagnose friends on YouTube, no matter what type of abuse you suspect. Then we not friends then we not friends. That's fine. Like, if you want to say we not friends because I was honest about what's going on, that's fine. Because I feel like when y'all say that, when y'all say that, oh, friends don't do that, girl, please. Bullshit. They're on a reality show. They're not regular friends. No, regular friends should not get on the internet and name their friends and tell their personal business on the internet. No. Do like I do and don't put no names on it. Y'all don't know who the fuck I'm talking about. And you're not supposed to. But I'm supposed to be able to get off what I need to say either way. Okay? But they are on a reality show. They are on a reality show. So to me, I think when we ignore that fact, when we act like Contessa is not talking about this shit on a reality show herself, you're really being unfair to Heavenly in the situation as somebody that reviews the show. I'm just supposed to not talk about her, even though this is what she's presenting on the show. If you felt so uncomfortable with people speaking about your marriage, your ass shouldn't be on a fucking reality show. That's just how I feel. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But if you feel like somebody is not a friend because they said how they honestly felt about your situation, then that's fine. Then we just not friends. But I'm not gonna lie so that you can feel like we are friends. Like, no, I was asked, I answered the question. She could have not answered the question, but it's Heavenly. It's a reality show. And again, I always go back to the fact that Contessa has already been perpetuating that herself. So I think it's mad weird when you can get on a reality show and tell all your friends that your man is doing you wrong, and you could expect your friends to be on your side. When they do that by saying that they feel like the nigga doing you wrong, now it's their fault. They shouldn't have never said nothing. Well, bitch, you shouldn't have never told me nothing. You shouldn't have never told none of us nothing. And I like Scott, to be very clear. I like Scott. I liked when Heavenly went to him and apologized, if that's what's going to make it better. But to act as if somebody's actions aren't their actions because you don't want to deal with the truth, like, yeah, whatever. You can feel however you want to feel. What else? Greg doesn't see a lot of respect for him. Greg says he's not responsible for them having to choose. Yeah, we know you're not accountable for any of this. You come into the group, you start this shit, and now you're not accountable for how you've caused all of these issues within the group. Of course not. Why would you be accountable? That would make you an adult in control of your own actions, and you're not. You're a beta. You're a beta male. Okay, you're a beta male. That's why you was running behind them other men talking about, I'm so glad that check was there. Yeah, because you could not handle the check your ass had wrote. You could not cash the check that your ass had wrote with King. Stop relying on other men to defend you in your bullshit. How about you be a stand-up guy and not press a man when you know you're not really about that life? The only reason I'm saying that is because I've been watching Dean all day. I don't know if y'all watch on TikTok. They do all of them debates like, why did you vote for Trump? And it's Will C, Dean, and Parker. But Dean is fucking hilarious, y'all. I love Dean. I literally will be on Dean's TikTok lives 4-5 hours at a time. Okay. And whenever the Trump supporters that come up there and they can never defend, like once somebody has actually given them the facts of a situation, they can never really defend it. So they always do a couple of things. And either they just ignore the fact that they've heard, they bitch out, they start saying slurs, their favorite slurs, to continue to say the N-word on his lives. I'm like, why do y'all always have black people or, using slurs that are about black people? Why are we always in y'all mouth? It's so weird the way y'all are obsessed with us. But I love Dean. And whenever the men come up there and they bitch out because they really can't debate him if we're dealing with facts, but if we're staying in our little closed box where we don't believe any of the facts because it goes against our bias, which is what those people do, he calls them betas, which pisses them off, which really they are. They are betas because y'all are over there, y'all are proverbially sucking, old boy off. Like y'all dick riding. It's not about what's actually right. It's not about it actually benefiting you. It's about you dick riding a man who you admire in some respect. It's dick riding. It's bitch assness. So you're a beta. But yes, I love Dean. And Dean just be up there calling everybody betas. Okay. Y'all know how I get affected by the people I watch. Okay. But anyway, y'all, that was Married to Medicine. Let's go on to the internet and see what mess was taking place around Married to Medicine. Okay. Let's see. Phadra. Let's go to Phadra.
Yeah. You said you didn't like those. I sure did. These are fat housewives are the type of women that are confident. They're not haters. You know what I'm saying? Everybody stays in their own lane. They not jealous. They not mad that somebody working and getting a bag.
Girl, cap.
So, and they like to have fun. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be miserable. Especially
Heavenly said, damn, we're miserable.
Not miserable and in medicine. Wow. Yeah. We did just see on Married to Medicine. Yeah. You said you didn't like those. I sure did. So what type of here in Atlanta? These are fat housewives are the type of women that are confident. They're not haters. You know what I'm saying? Everybody stays in their own lane. They not jealous. They not.
Somebody said, not gonna lie, everybody on Real Housewives of Atlanta is bad. They definitely don't give jealousy. Girl, it's episode fucking 1. It's episode 1. And I can tell you right now that the biggest jealous, the biggest one that I'm seeing is between Portia and Shamia. And we could let Shamia believe whatever she want to believe. Okay? We could let we could let it happen, baby. But I know what I'm seeing. Child, listen. Yeah, the Bravo Shade Room just doesn't like Quad. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed that, but if you are somebody that actually like pays attention, like let's play this conversation right quick. But because I want to hear what Contessa had to say that makes them feel like Quad is just being so unreasonable right now. I like what the men said. This is not for Quad to fix because Gregory is the one that wants to call the popo hole.
There has to be some empathy for there's a stressful environment that you were in last year.
Stressed out and all.
But this is also
put things in my face and shining somebody in my face and mistreating me.
And that's why I say we choose you, but we also can choose T.
I don't know what the hell is going on with Contessa right now because clearly she said Quad, I'm with you. I understand what you're going through.
I love you. I'm so sorry. You can't be blamed for any of this.
So I'm like, girl, what happened? Like, are you blowing in the wind like a reed?
Even though last year was tough, this is your safety net.
But my safety net has been removed from the group. King cannot come around as right now as we stand.
I don't think it's fair for us to mistreat Greg. I don't think it's fair for us to mistreat T.
Talking to Toya, talking to Eugene, they want everybody to be together.
T is just married to Greg. She should not be penalized for his decisions. No more than when Quad was married to Greg. Same Greg.
I'm so confused at what Contessa's point is here. The only reason they can't be in the same group is because Gregory complained to the network, because Gregory is talking about going to the police. That's the reason why King can't be here. Why are you talking to Quad as if Quad is stopping Gregory from being around, or even asking that of y'all? Quad never asked them to choose a side. Quad didn't ask them to not invite Dr. Gregory and Laticia. They actually offered that to her once Gregory decided he wanted to say, you know, King can't be here and all of that. So I'm just confused as to why Contessa is turning this on Quad right now.
Same dude. Just like you come with a +1.
And look, her grabbing her hands right now. I know y'all can't see. Let me take this down. But remember when I told y'all she always go and grab somebody? She's always in somebody's face. She's always touching somebody. I don't like all of that shit. Because to me, a lot of the times, people that are physically imposing themselves on you, even if they're trying to make it seem like it's care of you, it's really so that they can impose their will on you. Touching you, weighing you down, grabbing your hands, all of those things psychologically are ways to impede their energy on you in some type of way. So I often notice that she does that all the time.
T comes with a +1.
Not when there's a charge in place.
There has to be some.
Come on, Heavenly. Not when there's a charge in place. And people in the comments are acting like Quad is the problem there. And I'm like, how is this on Quad? I'm so very, very confused about how this ended up being on Quad when Greg is the one that's making it difficult for them to be around each other. So I was like, I don't get it. Girl, I'm very, very confused. I don't like it. I don't like it. Then she often turns super aggressive when she doesn't get the response she expects. Yes, exactly. Quad will be blamed regardless. That's what it seemed like to me. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Y'all are the ones that told her she couldn't be there. Quad didn't even really seem to get upset. She's just saying that if my man can't be there, then I don't want to come. Like, I would feel the same way. My man is not the one who has the issue. That nigga's the one with the issue. But if my man can't come, then I'm not coming. And y'all want Quad to come because y'all know Quad is a part of what makes the show work. Everybody online, because there's so many, don't nobody care about Quad. Y'all are full of shit. Y'all are full of shit. I don't give a fuck about what y'all reasonings are. Y'all are full of shit. Them girls on this show rely on Quad to make the show go round. Not that she's the only person, but she's an integral part of making the show go round, right? This is going to be probably the last event. They want both of them motherfuckers to be there. But you're asking Quad and King to do it while Greg is trying to put some legalities on it, which I think is unfair to King and Quad to put it on them when Greg is the one that wants to get the legalities involved. Go talk to that nigga. Go talk to him. I also feel like that whole you're not married to medicine. Married is also past tense. She was married to medicine. Stop being so fucking aloof and dumb all the time just because you don't like somebody and you want to repeat that stupid ass shit Mariah said. I know y'all love Mariah down. Y'all are entitled to. I don't care. But when I watched it back, what I saw is Mariah seeing Quad as her little, minion. And when Quad rose above being a minion, you got mad. You didn't like the fact that she was a breakout star, that people liked her, and she wasn't just an extension of you. To me, I feel like Quad's relationship with Mariah was ruined because Mariah saw herself as queen, and Quad kind of, took that away from her in a way. Like, it is very plain and simple to me. I don't care what nobody's talking about. I really don't care what nobody's talking about. Mariah seemed to be jealous of the fact that Quad was not just still the little, younger country bumpkin friend that she was bringing along, but she had really started to grow into her own and was a fan favorite and was standing on her own 2 feet in the group. And I do not think Mariah liked that. I don't. Sorry. So that's one of the reasons why whenever y'all be so big on Mariah, I really roll my eyes heavily. I roll my eyes so deep and so heavily into the back of my motherfucking head, because at the end of the day, Mariah was an asshole to Quad. Just like the other women were assholes to Mariah because Mariah wasn't a doctor. And you know how Jackie, Simone, and then eventually Heavenly treated, because they treated Heavenly bad too because she was a dentist and not a doctor the way they were, until she finally, I got, slimmed up enough in order to be in Jackie and Simone's good graces. Okay. But they always treated Mariah, Toya, and Quad like they were less than because they were the wives and they didn't work in the same manner that the doctor women did. They were elitist. So yeah. Nah, we not about to do all of that. I can absolutely see where the Golden Girls tried to shit on Mariah, but I can see absolutely how Mariah shitted on Quad. Sorry. And yes, they still do to this day. The dynamic of this show is based off of Simone and Jackie being able to manipulate everybody else around them so that their personal lives no longer have to be on Front Street. The friendship with Heavenly means that they can stand behind Heavenly as Heavenly makes mess with everybody else. That's just how I see it. Which is why I'm still vying for y'all to give Heavenly her fucking producer credit, because I think she working too hard for her check. For her just to be getting it as a reality star. I think she needs to be getting it as a producer as well. And I also feel like at some point I would like for Jackie to stop being a queen bee all the time, because I think she's mean. And like, just go be a doctor. Just go be a doctor. And the funny part is there's a part of me that likes Jackie, y'all. There's a part of me that likes Jackie's swag, likes her style, likes her chill, stoic thing. Like, I like stoic people, y'all. Okay. So there's a part of me that likes Jackie, but the part that I don't like is that Jackie tries to act like she's better than everybody while also being mean and grimy her fucking self. I don't like that shit. I also don't like that you seem to be fat phobic. I don't like that shit neither. That shit's weird. Like, it's very, very weird. And get, as good as she be looking and skinny, because that's the good thing about being skinny. You look good in clothes when you're skinny. But sometimes, in person, you look emaciated and it doesn't always scream healthy, but that's your life. If we was up here judging you for that every time we saw you, the way you judge women for being bigger, like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like it's okay for me to talk about her looking emaciated, because she don't never see a problem with talking to other women about their weight. Okay? But yeah, y'all, that's it. That's all. Next week is the season finale. I had to make sure I got this out to y'all. Tomorrow we're gonna come back with regular Love and Marriage, not Love and Marriage, regular BondyBlue shows. Love and Hip Hops will be members only, and I'm gonna come out with a short for Beyond the Gates. Okay, I just have to do it, but I have been watching Beyond the Gates. I'm really enjoying the new black soap opera, and I did like a short that I cut up last week. But Mardi Gras happened, my anniversary. So, girl, I got to give y'all this one from the previous week before we really get into this week of Beyond the Gates. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy the live. I appreciate y'all for coming through. 850 people. Thank y'all so much. Y'all are greatly appreciated. Yeah. All right, y'all. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.